Hello, friends, and welcome to the album sharing sessions.
Yo.
We are on episode 2 this week, or this 3-week session. We are covering Nothing More by Nothing More, because it's self-titled.
Rust in Peace by Megadeath.
And Good Kid 4 from Good Kid.
Oh, I thought Timmy was going to do it. I thought we had a thing going there.
We could, but it was really just me being hesitant, not remembering. It's a group where every 3 weeks we sit down, record our thoughts, and review 3 albums that each of us assign to each other. We've been doing this for like 2.5 years or so. We just started recording it, and in the past we've covered Below by Beartooth, Purple by Baroness, Welcome to Bonkers by Necrogoblicon, and Once Upon a Time in the West by The White Buffalo. I have to say those because the ones above my head get rotated with the ones that we pick, and they're not up there anymore. Because Bad Flower took their spot.
Beartooth was up there on episode 0, I think.
Yeah, it was the original.
Oh, yeah, because it was like the pizza one.
I actually didn't even replace Capstan until after we recorded episode 0 because I wanted it to be all of the ones I had picked and then replaced. But then I was just telling Brandon that 2 of the albums that I've picked that had never been pressed to a record before have now been. So now I have to figure out where they were and when I picked them. Because Haven't Been Myself by Too Close to Touch has now been pressed, which I'm waiting for, and so is Jiminy by Bear Ghost. So I thought, since this was episode 0, or not 0, 2.
This is episode 2.
It's episode 2. Yeah, the 3 of us, I figured we'd go in a history and introducing ourselves a little bit. The 3 of us have been friends longer than I can remember us not being friends.
That's true.
Yeah.
I legitimately, 30 minutes before they got here today, was like, I called my mom and I was like, how did I meet them? Because I don't remember.
It has to be like 20 something years.
I was told that around the time when I was 5.
Yeah, because we're
27. Yeah.
So
28. But
right.
that earlier birthday.
I'm the oldest.
Right.
But me and Brandon met babysitter's house. Yeah.
And Timmy, our
Timmy.
parents worked at the same place.
I think my sister went to school with your mom.
Yes, that is also true.
But yeah, everyone also worked at that place.
Yeah.
So they knew each other first. I think I met you at Cub Scouts.
Yeah, I feel like
independently
yeah.
met this group.
And then we went to school together for, all the years.
So yeah, we're at a 22-year-long friendship. Which is why we can get on a podcast and shit on each other's music taste and not get that angry about it.
Yeah.
Because music taste is weird.
Very subjective.
Where, like, I was thinking about the past stuff where, like, my favorite album ever is probably Arm's Length, and you guys were pretty middling on it. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Kind of like the last episode where you said Bad Flower was awful. And I was like, okay, cool.
Well, what have you guys been up to?
I listen to these 3 albums, and then I go to work, and...
I had a vacation from work.
Yeah.
But that was exciting.
I did too.
I did not.
I've been playing Fortnite.
Getting back into it.
Yeah.
Are you playing that?
I never really was into it, but I started playing it.
We played it for like a month. I think we bought the first battle pass or something, and then stopped.
For some reason, I had a bunch of coins or V-Bucks. I don't remember buying any V-Bucks. Well, I had a bunch. I was like, well, I might as well use them on cool skins.
And then they sucked you in hook, line, and sinker.
But, like, I'm actually just having more fun in it than I've had in any other Battle Royale.
Are you doing the no builds?
Yeah, no builds.
I feel like I don't really care for Fortnite, but I feel like a lot of people prefer the no build.
Yeah, that's the most
vastly
popular option.
I found out that existed the other day, and it made me actually want to play it again.
You should.
That's not what I did. But Cyberpunk takes too long.
You can just step away from
it. When you start playing Cyberpunk, and then Rev's like, Bluey. It becomes Bluey.
That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, we talked about a haircut last time. I was like, man, we're boring. And then I asked Timmy what was going on, and I just cut it because it was just dead silence.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, it was a lot more cuts than this one.
You are so not interesting that it's just not worth the time.
Wow.
No.
That's what he's basically saying.
I had asked him what he's been up to, and he's like, I don't know, nothing. But there was a long pause before that, so I cut straight to the I don't know nothing. So it went, how's it been going? Nothing.
Oh,
Like, well, okay then.
I thought you meant you just totally cut him out, like you didn't even ask.
I actually took a black screen and just put it over the side of the table. It's just me and Brandon. Sometimes there's a voiceover.
Okay, well, do we want to start in our usual order or like
no.
go in reverse?
I wrote "Good Kid, Rust in Peace, Nothing More."
It's a reverse.
I just did backwards because it seems to be the easiest other thing.
Cool.
But also, I know how to flip a page, so it doesn't matter.
That's also like shortest to longest.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So Good Kid. You have anything to say?
Timmy's
about
album is a whopping like 17 minutes.
Yeah.
It was really short. They're all really short.
Yeah, so we've listened. I know you haven't gotten to it, but we've listened to Good Kid 1, 2, and 3 before.
Yeah.
All in the same week.
Yeah, I thought we might as well listen to the new one.
It all got. I pretty much universally got 6s last time. When Ty was in the group, she gave it a 4. I went back and looked. It was 6, 6, 6, 4.
Right.
In the last one. In the last episode, I'd asked and joked if there was going to be a 4, 5, and 6 this time. You did not inform me that it had came out days before we recorded that episode.
Oh,
We recorded that
like.
It came out like March 27th, and we had
Yeah,
recorded that episode like April 6th or something, like a week.
The one
maybe.
we listened to?
Yeah.
Good Kid 4?
Yeah, it's been out for 3 weeks.
Nice.
Like,
I seen that it came out. I was like, oh, I want to listen to this. I could just use it as the pick.
I mean, I do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Dude.
When I had
That's
looked,
what I did with the Joji album also.
when I had looked it up to get the picture for putting in the video, I was like, it came out this week. We didn't mention it at all.
I thought I did.
He was saving it.
I did some slight research on them because I know that you do not.
I did not.
They are Canadian. It's a 5-piece band.
Oh.
I was kind of under the impression that it might have just been a guy.
That's-
It's
that-
5 people.
That was the impression I got too. That it was just
I
like
thought it was like 3 or 4.
one guy and then maybe like a drummer.
But they seem to only do EPs. They also, just in like some good graces kind of thing, I looked up their website and like they torrent stuff, which I didn't expect. But they have a tab on there that just says creators. And when you click on it, it basically just says, hey, our music is free for anybody to use. If anybody ever tries to like take a video or anything down you use our videos in, send the link to us and we'll fight it for you because it's our music.
Cool. I didn't know that.
That's pretty rad.
I found that out an hour ago or so when I was like, I'll look up some stuff about Good Kid. I said in my last review that I think they sound like Phoenix a lot.
I don't know what that
It's
is.
the
You like Phoenix?
you
don't
like Phoenix.
I?
It's one of the bands that I'm surprised we haven't listened to.
Lasso.
And
okay,
Listomania
yeah.
and
I like Lasso. I remember that from Guitar Hero.
the same Guitar Hero that heavily features Megadeath as well.
Well, I kind of just thought this was on par with the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I one of the ones that gave the 1 through 3 a 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody but Ty gave it a 6.
Okay.
It was a pretty easy one to review. Or average.
Yeah, this is about the same. Like, it's very similar. I guess we should probably like describe what kind of music it is.
It's like a Phoenix.
Like a Phoenix. It kind of reminded me of the Origami Angel.
Okay.
In a way.
It's like an indie pop rock in a weird way. I don't know.
That's how I thought of them.
Summer vibes. Like,
It's very upbeat.
yeah.
I like a band called Happy Fits a lot that they remind me of a lot, but they have a cello in their band, which is basically the difference. And in the concert I seen of them, I felt like I got aged out of the sound because at the Happy Fits concert, they were like, oh, who had school this morning?
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh no, I didn't. I had work. And like, been out of school for 10 years, so I shouldn't be here. I might,
And then you looked around.
might have
and
been
you're
the
like,
oldest.
Oh, God.
Still the shortest, probably. But I felt like, and that was how I feel about this. Right? Like, I feel like in my age range, I should be listening to Phoenix. Like, they came out when I was a teenager, and I feel like I'm aged out. But that being said, my favorite was probably Bubbly on the EP.
That was the opening
Yeah.
track.
It reminds me of the lyrics and types of things that Timmy doesn't like in music that I pick.
When he first picked Good Kid, I'm like, this is not Timmy's type of music.
No. And
Still listening to this, I'm like, this is not Timmy's type of music. And yet we've listened to 4 EPs.
It makes me feel like there are more things, and I know there are, that me and Timmy could agree on that I've just never actually picked, because Timmy normally doesn't like my stuff.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I could pick Happy Fits, or I could pick, like, other things I listen to that I know that he would like, and I just don't. But again, it's kind of the same song over and over and over again.
That was my main issue with it. It's very samey. It's like, each song starts and it's like, well, how is this like that much different than the one I was just listening to?
Every one of their songs is like extremely similar, especially like on the same EP.
Yeah,
I don't know why they do
I went back and listened to like a couple songs from the old ones just to like kind of refresh my memory, and it's like, yeah, this is just like this again, like
with the 3-week thing, I actually went back and listened to all of the EPs just to see. I do think there is growth in this one. I think it sounds better, even though it is the same. The lyrics are definitely better, just as like a side note.
Sometimes like when the singer is singing, like the words don't match with like what the lyrics are saying. Like I don't know what the hell he said, but it's not what the lyrics are saying.
I didn't notice that.
I forget which song it is specifically, but he says something eyes, like it sounds like Gwendolyn Eyes or something, and the lyrics are completely different.
I didn't catch that.
Also, if you guys remember individual songs, because I actually watched a YouTube video where like it was the whole EP and every song I could see when it changed, just to like visualize it for me.
Yeah. Besides
just having my phone in my pocket, and From the Start is a cover.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
That was my favorite song. I didn't know that.
They made it their own. It doesn't sound similar at all, but it is a cover. It's like Lucy, maybe? It's like Laucey, maybe, is the original artist. It came out 8 months ago, so it's a really fast turnaround for a cover.
Laufey?
But, yeah, something like that.
Laufey.
Yeah, that's it. Laufey. So, not C.
I'm just start researching the bands I pick.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't often go too far into the research. I just listen to the album, and it's like, if I like it a lot, I'll look into it, but it's more about the experience listening to the music for me.
I like knowing what I'm talking about, so I try to, and when you came at me with nothing for Infected Mushroom, I was like, I need to know something. I like to have some kind of background on what they're doing or what their vibe is, I guess, and I wouldn't have known the cool little creator thing, which definitely gave them points in my book.
Yeah.
Or they're from Canada. That's all I know.
I didn't know that.
I knew 2 things. And that it was a cover. But then if we wanted to get into least favorite, again, it's all samey, so like really the difference here is like not that different. But if I had to pick one that I didn't like as much, would probably be Dance Class. I just don't care for those lyrics.
I kind of like Dance Class.
Where it's like, I want a girl and I want a relationship and I don't know how to tell them kind of lyrics.
Yeah.
But From the Start does that better.
Yeah. It's too similar of a concept.
Yeah. The ones that cover, though.
Yeah.
Premiere In was my favorite.
It's a good one
on the album.
It's a good one for
or
sure.
EP, whatever you want to call it. The horns at the end, I was like, oh, that's different. Like I don't recall them doing something like that before. Yeah. It built up pretty well, and it was a pretty good closer too.
Yeah.
The EP was mostly samey. There's nothing bad on it per se, but like that song actually like stood out to me. Bubbly was probably my second favorite. Yeah. But like I said, it's literally like 17 minutes. It's hard to nitpick this.
We said this in the last one, but EPs are kind of hard to judge because like the littlest thing can like take a whole point off.
Yeah.
because it's
just like, this is only 17 minutes. If I don't like a minute of it, it's like
a good portion. You picked that Beach Bunny EP, and then they had like an interlude in the middle of it, and we're like, why?
Why? Maybe we should like rate EPs on a scale of like 1 to 5.
Yeah,
it
keeps it even.
Anything?
I'm OCD enough.
If an EP, well, I mean, Jar of Flies is an EP, but it's like
it's 30.
Yeah. So it's a pretty varying scale there.
That's an EP, and that's 48 minutes long.
What is an EP?
I don't know.
Extended play.
It's something that people send out to normally get like record labels to notice them in like a shorter stint, but now it's more of like we have songs and we don't have an album yet, so here's songs.
I didn't know what an EP was at all. I never heard of that until
Yeah.
we started this little group.
Yeah, no, it's extended play. Then LP is an album. It's long play. Which, again, I would think extended would assume longer.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't have any more bullet points though.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much run the course on Good Kid 4 here. Well, besides the final scores.
Yeah, there's
I will just continue the tradition and go with the 6.
I thought it was an improvement, so I went with a 6.75.
Oh yeah, you always do the weird decimals.
I was gonna go with a 6.5.
All right. So what we got here?
Like a 6.33333 probably.
I always
Definitely could be wrong.
I always open the notes app first, and then you got a weird 6.75. 6.4.
4.66666.
6.4.
I was 0.1 off.
So not bad.
Yeah,
Pretty good actually.
Again, it just confuses me because I feel like there's some contradictions where it's like you've hated things that sound like this from other
I don't
people.
know. I like things that I think sound good.
He likes what he likes. All
No,
right.
it's fine. It's
I
all
don't-
good. I get it. I like it too. Good Kid's probably my favorite thing that you've made us listen to. I wrote
Well,
Rust-
not for me. I've given Timmy like 10 out of 10s before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that he didn't even give.
No, you gave one of them a 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember what the other one was.
It was Pink Floyd.
and then we listened
Wish
to
you were
I,
here.
I gave that one.
You gave that one a 10, but you did not give the Blue album, Weezer, a 10.
Oh, yeah.
But I did.
I wasn't like personally attached to that one in any sort of way, really.
I think I've given 3 10s, and 2 of them are your albums.
I feel honored.
I have Rust in Peace next if we wanted to go over
Yeah,
that.
we can get into it. It's Megadeth.
There you go.
You guys have probably heard of Megadeth. Well, hold on. You didn't know Alice in Chains.
I've heard of
You've heard of Megadeth.
I've never listened to Megadeth before, and I wouldn't be able to pick out their sound in a lineup,
Well,
but
they're part of the big 4 of thrash metal. So, let's see. Let's do a little game. Can you name the 4 thrash metal? The big 4. I mean, you got one, Megadeth.
Honestly, probably the hardest
Iron
one to
Maiden.
name.
No.
Iron Maiden's not?
Metallica.
Yes.
That's surprising. Iron Maiden should be in it.
No.
Okay.
The other two
I
is
don't know other bands.
the other two is Slayer and Anthrax.
I've never listened to them.
Well,
Man, I really thought Iron Maiden was a part of that.
No,
They
they're
should
not.
be.
Yeah, it's like the same
Yeah.
album art.
It is. Actually, I got confused because Iron Maiden puts on like big shows where like the guy that looks like the Rust in Peace guy is like right behind them. So it's like, I was expecting
yeah, Eddie.
Iron Maiden.
What is it? He has a name.
Yeah, his name's Eddie.
Um,
That's Iron Maiden's.
Good Kid dude has a name too. It's Numu or
Oh.
Nomu.
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the songs?
Yep.
On the,
Yeah, it
okay.
is.
That's my favorite of the first bunch.
I really like that one.
Going
too.
back to my review, I went back to look at.
Anyway, but Rust in Peace is probably it is Megadeth's most iconic album.
Is it?
I would say so.
They
I
got
mean,
Peace Cells and
it's like a dead heat
Yeah, I
for
mean-
3, but I would give it to Rust in Peace. It's Peace Cells and then Countdown to Extinction, which has Symphony of
I was
Destruction.
about to say,
and
neither of the ones I
Sweating
mentioned
Bullets on
have.
it. So
weirdly
it's-
enough, to go with the trend of things that these bands have news for in the time period of us doing this, Megadeth announced a tour today at time of recording this. Or I sent it to group chat earlier. I was like, this is weird timing.
I know,
topical.
timing.
It's like
Dave Mustaine's getting pretty old.
Yeah.
I mean,
random facts about updating. Like, just, there's a weird coincidence where when we cover something, like, the local record store will stock it, or like
it's weird. It's uncanny.
and like we didn't record these before last week, so nobody could have known. Last round.
Yeah.
I keep saying last week.
Yeah, I did that earlier too. You're fine.
I know Megadeth the most because of Guitar Hero.
They are in a lot of Guitar Hero
Symphony
games.
of Destruction was my introduction to them, and probably still my favorite song of theirs.
They're on Guitar Hero 1, 2.
Guitar
They're
Hero
not on
6
they're not on 3.
heavily has them. I think like 3 or 4 songs are the last 3 or 4 songs of that game. and they have like a special setup and stage and everything. Like they really went like, this is the Megadeath one. It's got Holy Wars and Hangar 18 and like a couple others that are just the hardest songs on that game.
Rock Band has a lot of. You can just buy this Rust in Peace album and Peace Cells, like the whole album, so you can just play on Rock Band. No, but Rust in Peace is just literally banger after banger after banger. But you don't necessarily listen to it for the vocals. Dave Mustaine, infamously not a great singer, but the guitar work, drums, bass, like it's just non-stop, just shredding. Like from the opening riff from Holy Wars all the way to the end. There's one song that's not a headbanger. That's Dawn Patrol. Like it's just kind of the interlude.
Yeah,
song.
I noticed it was only like a minute and a half. I wrote it as my least favorite, then I figured out how long it was. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't be as hard on it.
That's the one that's like a skip, or it's like you just pretend it's not on the album.
I think it just makes the last song seem longer.
It's kind of it's sort of in a like an interlude to the Rust in Peace Polaris. It's everybody's least favorite song off this album.
This is gonna sound mostly negative, even though I don't want it to be, just because that's how reviewing works. Where it's just like, I'm gonna point out points that I don't like, and then I forget about the points I did like. So I'll start with good. The first two songs are classic and are very, 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 very good.
Those are the two best songs.
The two songs that I could get over Dave Mustaine's horrible voice.
Well, he doesn't sing for like half of Hangar 18.
Yeah, no.
And the second half of Hangar 18 is probably the best thing on this album.
I've been talking about older music and like the big four of thrash metal. I have went on record to like people that I know a few times saying Megadeath probably has the best instrument players and like, are the most talented.
It's them or Slayer for me.
Yeah,
like, as far as instruments.
They're all crazy talented instrumentalists. And for some reason, they have Dave Mustaine as vocalist, and he just brings the whole band down so badly. I'm sure he writes the lyrics, which they're fine.
The lyrics on this album are pretty good, honestly. Like, if you look into them, it's just a shame that they're delivered in such a way.
Have you guys ever watched the videos of Vince Neil trying to sing, like, the Motley Crue guy?
I have not, but I saw...
There are videos of him, like, as of, like, last year, because they did a big stadium tour. And like you can't understand what he's saying, and he sounds horrible. And it's just videos of people putting like what it sounds like he's saying over.
Oh wait, no, I have seen that.
That's what Dave Mustaine sounds like to me, and this is on a studio album.
At first, I thought you meant Vince Neil was covering Megadeth.
No,
I'm like, no, I haven't seen that. But no, I have seen those.
No, it's its own songs. It's just like when listening to this, I was like, man, this is giving me bad Vince Neil vibes. So really, I like it if they just took Vince Neil out, which you guys are proving my I like music with lyrics thing wrong.
Well,
because I would much rather just listen to the guitar solos.
Listen, when you have guitar solos like you do on Holy Wars and Tornado of Souls, it's hard to go wrong. Like even with Dave Mustaine's singing, we'll call it, it's still like you can get into it. Like I said, the whole second half of Hangar 18 is just like amazing. Holy Wars. The opening riff and then the little acoustic part that like goes into the solos and the slower part.
No, I basically my whole little note right here is just saying how bad Dave Mustaine is. Or like I said that Poison for the Cure sounds like an early punk song. It's like 2 minutes long. It's just like in and out and
yeah, but like even then it's like it's got something to
I like it.
Lucretia has a really good riff on it.
Yeah.
Even though it starts with Dave Mustaine doing like a creepy old lady laugh. I'm pretty sure that's him anyway.
I'm sure. But yeah, no, it was hard to understand him sometimes. I had to look at the lyrics. They're fine. I just don't like Dave Mustaine. That's it. There's so much talent there.
He's not everybody's cup of tea.
They need to have a super group where they have anybody else sing for them. And it would be... It's like you take the instrumentalist out of Creed. Kind of thing.
Do like an alter bridge with Megadeth.
I'll add Miles Kennedy to Megadeth.
Well, this was their first album with new lead guitarist Marty Friedman and new drummer Nick Menza. They were not on like Peace Cells in their previous album. And I think they bring a lot to the table in Rust in Peace. I mean, Dave Mustaine does a lot of the lead solos as well, but
I don't know their earlier stuff other than Symphony for Destruction.
Symphony's actually after this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or well,
Peace Cells then.
Extinction. Yeah, Peace Cells is before.
You can definitely tell that there is an improvement.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
yeah.
This is about as good as it gets for thrash metal instrumentals.
Yeah, I mean, I've been singing the praises. I actually got confirmation for this because some guys at work went to see them open for Five Finger last year or the year before.
That still seems wrong to me.
Yeah.
They should not be opening for
same venue. They're headlining this year, so I don't know what happened. I don't know why Megadeth is more popular now than they were 2 years ago, but whatever. And I asked them, I was like, did you guys like sit and watch? And they were like, no, we just listened. And I was like, is Dave Mustaine horrible? And they're like, yes.
I can't imagine. I haven't really seen any live footage. I can't imagine he's any better live.
That was my thing. I was like, it sounded like Vince Neil live as a 70-year-old, but on a studio when I don't think he was that old. But that's it.
It's kind of like the opposite of my pick last week, where not to like say Alice in Chains are not good musicians, but it's like you go to Alice in Chains for Lane Staley, for Jerry Cantrell for their vocals. You go to Megadeth for their instruments, not the singing.
And like that EP specifically, it's like you've got to focus on the vocals. It's the front,
right? Because it's stripped back acoustic.
Yeah, it's the higher in the mix. It's everything.
Thoughts, Timmy?
Well, listening to it, I thought it sounded like they just pulled in some random crackhead to do the lyrics.
Jeez.
I mean,
Dave Mustaine, get down.
He
offense.
is a known alcoholic, so
hey,
pretty close.
Hey, we did it. You guessed it right.
You were close, I guess.
It just sounded like a crazy person.
You're not wrong. He hates the government. That's
clear.
He literally says that in like every album. Peace Cells is like all about the government. But I mean, is that really a crazy thought?
Not really. No, that's
it's
pretty normal.
We're about to talk about nothing more.
Well, we're gonna get into that. But any standout moments for you, like setting the vocals aside, what did you think of the solos and
I thought it was really cool. Like the instrumentals was my favorite part of the album because of course it is.
Yeah.
Tornado of Souls was my favorite.
Tornado of Souls always comes up in like a list of top solos in metal or rock or whatever. Like that's I mean, but there's a lot to choose from just on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have a lot of high praise for it. Of course, like pretty much the only negative is Dave Mustaine, but he's like, I can deal with him, like
just screeching in the background.
He's one of those vocalists where it's kind of easy to tune him out, I think.
Yeah.
And because the instrumentals behind him are so amazing. So I'm gonna go with a 9 just because it's like, it's rest in peace. Hangar 18.
I'm gonna go higher than I wrote, but I'm gonna go 5.
That's pretty good for you.
Yeah, I wrote 4.75, but talking and realizing that Dave Mustaine's not that big of an issue, even though he is, and he brought it down like 8 points, but on a 13-point scale, I guess.
I was feeling like more of a 6 or 7.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought you would be.
Yeah. What, what 6? 6.5?
Let's go with 6.5.
Go like 6.53, just so that I'm not the one with weird decimals.
Okay, 6.53.
You're 6.5. Too late. And you're a 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I would like to remind
6.8.
Okay.
So we're on a pretty good.
I would like the record to show that there was like an unspoken in my brain rule at first to not do anything other than like 0.5s, because then we're at like a million scale, because it doesn't at a certain point the numbers don't matter.
I always round up or down anyway.
I think like the 4th or 5th week Brandon did one at like a 6.3 or 6.53 because he wanted it was better than the last one he gave, a 6.52 or something.
I think I did something.
Or like not an even decimal.
Well, yeah, when we hadn't quite figured out the scale yet.
At a certain point, we'll start doing like 9.9999.
This was the first Big Four thrash that we've covered.
Yeah,
we haven't done any Metallica or Slayer.
I've considered picking Metallica.
You didn't even know they were in the Big Four thrash.
No, I know Metallica.
What Metallica do you know?
Oh, the puppet one.
The puppet one.
The puppet.
Because of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you called him out on that one.
Metallica is the
I
Stranger
liked that
Things band.
before.
And her Sandman.
Metallica was my favorite band in getting into rock, where I was like, ooh, Metallica.
I think that's a lot of people's gateway.
Then I learned about
rock
Lars,
now.
and then I just hated them since.
Yeah, Lars seems like a prick.
Lars is the Dave Mustaine of Metallica.
He's just not a good drummer.
Which is
either.
weird because Dave Mustaine was in Metallica, so.
And not that I would call myself a drummer, but I have a drum set and I've drummed forever, and I'm like, why did I like this? He's so bad at drumming.
Your top most hated drummer is Lars, and then the AC/DC guy.
right behind him. They're both bad. I just hit the table with the thing.
That's okay.
I historically don't like things that are older than 24 years old, though. So I don't.
That's
don't
true.
blame anybody.
When you give it a 5, I'm like, oh, that's good for an
Yeah.
album that came out before
I
2005.
was telling Ty earlier where I was just like, I said in episode 0 that I normally agree with you, and I don't normally agree with you, and the last 2 I've given you higher scores than it is.
Because I've been picking older music.
Brandon keeps picking things that I don't like,
Stuff from the 90s.
or kind of like, or am okay with.
Don't worry, I have a new release for at the end of the episode here.
Brandon's also had my least favorite that we've ever done as well. So,
Which was King Gizzard.
we did the Coyote album.
Didn't
Hiatus Coyote, and that got a better score than it should have. I realized in hindsight.
Because we
early.
were still early.
It ended up with a 4.1, and I was like, man,
Because
that's
I
way
liked that
high.
album a lot.
Yeah.
And Timmy liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was alright.
We did Death Grips too, and I didn't like that either.
Yeah.
Death Grips is your lowest rated, I think, of the whole.
Well, now it's Chelsea Wolf.
Oh, that makes sense because that was bad too.
because even I didn't really like that.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of those hey, this came out and I want to check it out.
Timmy has the lowest rated score, but it was such a album that I don't even remember that I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
It's the one with that really annoying there's nobody now.
Don't even remember.
I remember that
hated
song.
it so much.
I don't remember that either.
It's like Late Night Drive or something.
So some
I
history.
cannot remember.
Oh, are we back?
Yeah, we were back anyway. I'm not gonna cut that.
Okay, great.
Professionals here.
Yeah.
I might cut it. I don't know. I listen to things and I go, that was annoying, and I cut it all the time.
We should cut this. Nothing of value was said there.
I left the stupid I'm a semi-confident cutter thing from the last time. I don't know why I write it on a notebook and then go, oh, they're going to see. I just changed my last score. It doesn't matter. Because we've just started this podcast, I keep picking albums that I like a lot. And I'm not even trying to bluff, or you guys know this one.
Yeah, this is one that I said in the last episode. I've been waiting for you to pick this since the beginning.
This is the first example of what this group is, kind of in a weird way. Where when this album came out, I was a stupid 17-year-old. 17-year-old. Came out 2014.
14. Yeah, that was the year we graduated.
I was 17 and 18 / whatever when I found this. And I went out for Christmas that year, and anybody I didn't have a gift for that liked rock music, I bought this album for. I was working, building, and putting in septic tanks when I first discovered this. I was forced to listen to the radio, which is normally my nemesis, on a way to a job. And This Is the Time came on the radio, and I was like, I need to know what this band is. And I didn't even have it, I was behind in the times. I didn't have a smartphone or anything. I wasn't able to find it immediately, so I had to remember this song. I need to find it.
That's old school. Hearing a song on the radio and writing down what you think the lyrics are.
Yeah,
And then going to your computer or whatever and trying to find it.
Driving in my uncle's truck because he had me bring his truck to the job. But yeah, I had to come home and go, what was that song? I need to find it. Again, I was way behind the times on smartphones. They were out. I didn't have one. But that was my introduction to them. There's a fun story where a lot of people think this is their debut, and if you try to find reviews or anything, they'll call the next album their second, and he's like, no, it's not. They have a album before this one that is called A Few Not Fleeting, which was really hard to find at the time. So I told Ty, my wife, that I really wanted to find it one day, and that was my dream CD to have before I started this. And she had burnt me their first CD. and then gave it to me for like Valentine's Day or something. It was just like, hey, here you go. And I listened to it and I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't know what it was at all. And Ty was like, hey, did you notice your CD? Like, what did you think? Like, hey, are you excited? And I was like, I don't know what it is. And then I found out that they have 3 albums even before that one.
Whoa.
That have a completely different singer because their now singer was their drummer.
I did brief research on this band, and apparently they started in like 2003.
Yeah. And
like they just started blowing up, like you said, in 2014.
Yeah, with This Is the Time. And then have like been nominated for Grammys since. And like, they're not huge, but like bigger than Bad Flower. Bad Flower is actually open for them. But yeah, their singer was their drummer. When they play live, they don't do it as much anymore, but he actually used to have a second drum set up by the front of the stage with him. I tried my best not to go song by song again, but I pretty much went song by song again.
Well, this is a really long one. I think there's like 17 songs.
I promise on probably the episode 4, I'll pick something that I'm not as passionate about. But there are a bunch of different versions of this album.
Yeah, you mentioned that off camera.
So streaming, Surface Flames and Take a Bullet are not on the CD. But then on the album, because I'm guessing CD restraints, you can't put an hour and 8 minutes on a CD. It just doesn't fit. Because of further album restraints, the vinyl was only pressed on a single one. And so, First Punch, Matthew Effect, Sex and Lies, Here's to the Heartache, and another one aren't on the vinyl. So the vinyl's only like 12 songs, and for some reason they kept the interludes. And
that would have been
Take a Bullet and Surface Flames.
The interludes they probably could have gotten rid of.
Yeah. There's a minute, there's 2 minutes of silence at the end before the last thing starts. They started a trend, at least as far as I'm aware, with Alan Watts, where their interludes use a guy, the philosopher, if I could speak.
Philosopher.
Hey. That I see all the time now in things. Where like Adola used them on their last record that just came out, and like Starset uses them live. The Rex do.
I didn't know if they were like sampling something like a TV show.
It's a guy.
I didn't know what that was.
They have also done it in every album since.
Because I would go ahead and say, like, the interludes are just, to me, they're just kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, they're there.
On this album.
I think one interlude is too much. Most of it.
They're just there. I don't really normally rate them. I think they sound fine. To go back to the fact that we picked 3 albums that now have stuff this 3-week span. They announced an album the Friday after we recorded.
Didn't they just come out with one last
2021 or 2022, I think. It's the fastest they've turned around an album for sure. This Is the Time is my favorite live song ever. It's great. It was my introduction to the song. It's fantastic. When I seen them the first time, it was to like a half-empty Bogarts. There's like maybe a third of that room filled. It was kind of neat. But at that song, he had taken the drum set and like slammed it and shook Bogarts.
It's like an earthquake at the venue.
Yeah. This time's great. I don't know if you guys have anything to say.
It's the best song on the album.
Yeah.
Like, just to kind of just, not to bury the lead or anything, but it's kind of all downhill from there. Not that it's bad. I don't think the album's bad, but it's like it starts on the highest of highs, kind of similar to the Megadeth, except Megadeth, I feel like keeps the momentum, albeit nothing's as good as Hangar 18. But This Is the Time. It's like the peak, and then it just,
Yeah, there's a reason why it was a song on the radio where I was like, I need to go find this. Tammy, you have any introduction, anything to say about at least This Is the Time?
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
I didn't hate it.
It kind of led me into a false sense that this would be a little more heavy than it ends up being.
They've started screaming. Like, they had Eric from I Prevail, which is the screamer of that band, in their latest song.
Like the opening, the instrumentals, it's like straight out of like gent metalcore, you know? Like,
they put themselves in a weird bubble where like they opened for they opened for Breaking Ben and like Five Finger, but then they also play with like Asking Alexandria and Wage War and like the metalcore scene as well as the butt rock scene.
Speaking of Breaking Ben, there's this First Punch sounds almost exactly like a Breaking Benjamin song.
Okay.
I put that on my notes. It's just something I noticed, like, listening to it. Like, it's structured very similar.
Yeah, First Punch
Breaking
is
Benjamin.
the one song I was able to skip on my list. It's just an angry song. I don't know. I'll probably title the video like it because I don't know how to combine these 3 album names.
I was wondering that because, like, we did that
Yeah.
the last time, and I'm like, nothing more will rust in
Yeah,
good
no, it's
peace.
the closest I got was like More Peace Kid or like it's not good. So I was gonna make a clickbaity title. So almost every song on this album has some kind of biblical reference in it, to the point where I thought they were a Christian band that
They were-
cussed.
I was gonna say they did not really try to hide it.
No,
It's very evident.
or even like at the last interlude, like in whatever thing you could call it. It was like he says the Alan Watts says something like, "Then you become an atheist and you might as well kill yourself." It's like,
I remember, I know when he said that, I was like, I mean, that's at the very end.
Yeah.
But it's like you got, Christ's copyright and
Yeah.
Matthew, like, there's a lot of Christianity.
almost every song.
Yeah.
I think I pointed out in some of these, but Christ's Copyright was a song that meant more than me than it probably should. It's a political song. It's one of my favorite, like, just politics songs. But being raised in church, like, very much so, up until and after listening to this album, I went to a church where they had handed out pamphlets saying, like, Obama was the Antichrist, and like it's a real song. Like, this song did a lot where I did some dumb research when I was going and listening to it. I was like, is Christ actually copyrighted? It's not. But that led me down.
It made you think that.
That led me down a rabbit hole where I was like, man, this is actually, it's just fear mongering, and church isn't great for political views.
Yeah.
Christ's Copyright was pretty good. Like I said, there's not like a bad song, like,
Yeah.
not excluding the interludes.
Yeah.
Everything's, like, kind of just mid to, like, pretty good.
I like it, Mr. MTV a lot. It also has a biblical reference.
I thought that song was going to be really corny when I read
Yeah.
the title, but I dug that one.
I liked the thing a lot because I read the discology when this album came out because I was a big nerd for this album. I liked it a lot. I even showed Timmy this song, like, growing up. After I was like, "Hey Timmy, listen to this song." I don't think he remembers it, but
Not
at a certain point in the album or in the song, he changes the lyrics to, besides "Empty Me," it's "MTV." Like, there's actually that switch in there.
Yeah,
It's just cool little stuff.
I picked up on that.
And "Sex and Lies" in the discology, when he says "we're nothing more" in, like, the little
When
part.
he says that, I was like waiting for, like, the credits to roll. Like,
in the discology, they put their logo on it, like, right there. It's just little stupid things. I liked it a lot.
I was wondering if they did that on purpose, but
Yeah.
it sounds like they did.
Which, like, that song's a really angry, like, cheating song thing. The story behind it was a friend of his. It's not even his experience. It's a lot of anger there.
What's one of my other favorite songs? What's Jenny about?
Jenny has a really long and sad story that I'm not gonna get right. I promise you that. But I think it was like Johnny's mom's sister died in a plane crash at a birthday party, whose name was Jenny. So then she named his sister Jenny, who has a drug problem. And so then did the whole lyrics of, like, maybe you should just fall.
Yeah, like, I couldn't quite figure out.
It's after This Is the Time, I think it's their most popular. Maybe Go to War, which is on the next one. It was the Grammy nominated one. It was also in an ad for Dawn of Planet of the Apes. Weird fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
Because I was like, nothing more.
Yeah, Jenny and I also really, I mean, outside of This Is the Time,
Yeah.
Jenny and I'll Be Okay were my other two favorites.
Yeah.
I'll Be Okay builds up surprisingly well.
Yeah, it was one of my least favorite when I first heard it, and then I heard it live, and I was like, okay, this has completely changed. It's grown on me, like, to be one of my favorites since.
The first time I heard it, I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, here's the slow song, and then it's like it goes like
Yeah.
in that second half, and it's kind of rare for a musician to actually convey the emotion that they're trying to, and I think they've succeeded here. It's like, oh, I'm buying what you're selling.
Yeah, from
like,
being the drummer like 3 years beforehand, he's a crazy good vocalist, at least in my opinion, with conveying emotion and just everything.
you know, across all 17 songs, not all of them feature his singing, but like he's okay. Like he carries the band. Like I wouldn't call him like a top singer in rock or nothing like that, but he's no Dave Mustaine. Let's put that out there.
Here's to the Heartache was a single, and actually is pretty popular for them. I'm pretty indifferent on the song, other than it has one of my favorite lines of a song, where it's the what if I hold you but tell you there's just no escape, because the pause there just makes it such a dark lyric when it was started as such a happy one.
They kind of do that a lot on this album, where it's like you think he's gonna say one thing, and then it's like it cuts into it with like a electronic, or he says something else.
I would like Friendly Fire less if it wasn't written as a play. I think the writing style for it's really cool. Where it's like inner scene, inner Judas, which again, biblical.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, it's even in the discology, it's written as a play where they put the spaces and like make it long.
That's one of the more energetic songs. So I guess I just kind of wasn't paying too much attention to the lyrics. For that one.
It's just the story of Judas and like the weird hypocrisy.
So on their other albums, do they kind of continue the biblical theme?
Not as much. Not even close. This one's basically every song has something. Jenny starts with a Bible verse. The little sleep, little slumber, little folding of the hands. That's a.
I didn't know that.
Growing up in church made this album very important to me because I could pick up on every single song having something. Again, they don't do it after this nearly as much. I can't even think of one, to tell you the truth. The bonus songs are there. I don't know them because I listened to the CD. Where like they popped up and I was like, oh yeah, these.
Once you mentioned that they were bonus songs,
I don't even know if you can call them that. Like they're not on the CD, which was like the main way to listen to music when it came out, at least for me. So I didn't know them until I downloaded the thing on Apple Music, and I was like, oh, these songs, where are these from? I think they were put where they were put not to affect the emotional toll that the last two songs take. I like where they're not at the end because I think it would ruin God Went North. But yeah, they're there. I don't really know them as well. I'm not going to rate the album based on them because I didn't know it before that. I don't hate them. I think they're fine.
Yeah.
They're the weakest too.
They're all right. They are the weakest. Like,
which ones were like bonus songs?
Surface Flames and Take a Bullet. Surface Flames.
Isn't Surface Flames just Friendly Fire? Like,
essentially,
again?
but like they could have put it beforehand, but they didn't.
It's Friendly Fire, but like a weird electronic.
Like they could have done an Itch for the Cure Kingslayer thing and put it beforehand and made it better, but they put it after two more songs, I think, and then didn't put Friendly Fire on the vinyl, but Surface Flames is. It's confusing. I don't know band decisions. You had said last episode that Nutshell was like your most sad song or something. I think God Went North is like the saddest song I've ever heard. That song's
I'll have to like dig deeper into this song because, after this is what, track 16 or whatever. At this point, I'm just kind of like ready for the album to be done.
It's a long one.
So, like I'll admit I didn't do it maybe the service that it deserved. Because it's like, well, it's like we gotta wrap it up here, guys. Like
this is the time and whatnot are, and I'll Be Okay, and all the other songs on this album are fantastic and great. But the God Went North is my favorite song. It's sad. It's a mom dying song. It's rough. I like it a lot. It's like weirdly hopeful too. Like it ends with a hallelujah chant, which is the second time I've picked albums that do that.
I might have remembered it more if it wasn't immediately followed by the
silence,
the 9-minute fire,
whatever
that was.
Thinking about it, I think I know that the silence is there just to keep the emotional toll that is God Went North, like a separate, but still the 2 minutes of silence isn't worth it. It doesn't need to be there. It could have just went straight to the outro. I don't hate the outro either, though. Like, it's there, but again, I don't like judging things on outros and interludes and things, but Ocean Floor is an intro.
Oh, yeah,
Ocean Floor is pretty
it's
cool.
also a song.
Ocean Floor intros into This Is the Time, pretty nice.
Yeah, you gotta listen to them together.
But I go into albums like this, much like Bad Flower and Hot Mulligan's album, where I go in thinking it's a 10. I'm like, I need to convince myself that it's not a 10, because giving something a 10 seems dramatic. And I've done it twice, I think.
Which ones have you given 10s?
Vessels and Arm's Length. Which I stand by Arm's Length. I fell in love with that album first listen. Like, it's the first time. This and this are probably the only ones I've ever done that with. I went with a 10 still. I try to talk myself out of it. It's a 10. I don't know. It's meant a lot to me. It's perfect. I don't know. I like it a lot.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I don't think
Fantastic.
I don't think it's quite perfect. It's not bad. There's definitely some pretty iconic moments on this. Like, I haven't really listened to Nothing More that much, but I did know This Is the Time, just to kind of like, well, what's Tristan been talking about all these years? And I'm like, okay, this song's pretty good. And maybe I'll just wait. Maybe he'll pick it for the album club, and then you never did.
There's a lot of music.
I've been waiting for this, and after listening to it, it was kind of just like, oh, that was okay, I guess, but like that was it. This was nothing more. Like the group I've been waiting for for years. It was never gonna live up to the expectations. But like I said, it's not bad by any means. It's perfectly good, like radio rock. A lot of the biblical themes they seem pretty important to what's his name? Johnny?
Yeah.
Johnny is the singer's name. They seem pretty important to him, considering most of the songs on this album have to deal with Christianity and so on. But I guess overall I will go with it's gonna be tied with A Good Kid. It's gonna also get a 6.
Okay.
A very different 6 though, because this is an hour and 8 minutes, and Good Kid 4 is 17. So, but they both on our weird scale that doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Final thoughts.
You can say anything. You could say anything about the whole thing. You can have my notes if you want to.
I don't need your notes.
Just give
Are you
it.
trying to convince me
No,
that it's a 10?
no, it's
He
fine.
wants you to rate it a 10.
I never think that you're gonna give me anything more than like a 4. Historically speaking. Historically speaking.
Okay, well, I thought it wasn't bad. Like, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Like, there's just some mild annoyances. Like, I think it was too long. I think
That's my main.
Higher was too long.
That's my main issue with the album.
But yeah, no, I get that. It doesn't need to be that long. You could take the last 8 minutes and make it.
Oh, yeah.
If I were you guys, I probably would have taken it off. Just completely deleted it. I've done it before where I'm like, this song is making me hate this.
Yeah, get rid of Pyre, get rid of Surface Flames.
All the interludes of their albums, which I'm sure we'll cover again, are shorter.
That's
And,
good.
they're all like a minute or two, and they lead into the songs.
It's too long. I thought the biblical references were annoying. The instrumental was okay. 5 out of 10.
Hey!
Not bad.
So, like, pretty average.
7.
7's good. I can live with a 7. But look, 1 page, and not 2.5.
Yes, I appreciate the.
I did it.
I appreciate the not going track.
I did it. There's still a picking part. I was just gonna shoot the crap for a bit, but then I was like, wait,
we got one very important thing left on the docket here. I think we said this in episode 0, or maybe it was the last one, but like a 5 is like a pretty good score for us.
Yeah. No, even when I.
It's like whenever you hear anything higher than like a 4.5, it's like okay, like they at least liked
If the average can be above a 5, it's like a good album.
Yes.
Yeah. We come from 3 mostly different backgrounds. I thought me and Brandon would be closer when I started this.
Turns out
it's not as close.
Not so much.
I have this weird distaste for older music.
Which is, I still don't understand, but
I don't either.
Production is better now. It sounds better now.
Rest in peace, though. It's like that's 1990, and
Dave Mustaine exists.
It sounds like it could have came out today.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the production on that's not bad. It's just the vocalist.
Well, you can't fix that.
No, you
That's not
can't.
big-
You can. You can get somebody else.
You
You're like, Dave, write the lyrics. Sit over there in the corner. You're in the band. Okay, Grandpa.
Well, I think they kicked him out of Metallica for similar reasons.
He was in Metallica?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. He was on their first album, Kill 'Em All, and then they kicked,
As an instrumentalist?
yeah, he's a guitar
Okay.
player.
Oh, okay.
And then they kicked him out when they were writing Ride the Lightning.
Like
Well,
the
should we just go in order of
logistics.
how we did the albums? Like,
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say. But actually, I was trying to make you go first, but it's all good.
I'll do it next time. I
No.
guess. If I go first,
Absolutely not.
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
What you got?
We gotta make sure Brandon doesn't go first next time.
Okay. My album,
3 weeks ago,
my
forget.
pick for this round is Freddy's Inferno by Freddie Dredd.
Never heard of him. It's kind of funny because my pick I've also never heard of until recently. I was literally Googling albums that came out last year to see like what was good.
Hot Mulligans, Why Would I Watch? Is that what we're
No,
listening
we're
to?
not listening to that. And literally minutes before coming over here, I pulled up one of the songs and I'm like, this is pretty good. I'll just pick it for the album. Why not? Because I didn't want to pick another like.
I have
9.
yet to have the courage to do that. It's
Sometimes
albums I like
it
a
works-
lot.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, this is kind of similar to an album I've picked already, like the album art and even the name, but it is Hell Mode by Jeff Rosenstock. You guys want to see the album cover? It looks a lot like
I've seen that album cover.
It looks a lot like Hellfire by Black Midi, which I've also picked.
I have seen that album cover, so I don't. So I made a joke pretty early on that with the timing of us making this a podcast, that I could pick a band over and over and over and over and over again, and then have it timed for their new release.
No. I know what's going.
Which then
no.
I didn't do because that's bad for podcasting. But at the same time, this 3-week cycle, and they even just delayed it a week today.
I just noticed the shorties one.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Today they delayed it a week, so even then it'll be out before the album is out. And the first single from this album says "Welcome to Trench." So we are going to listen to Trench by 21
Oh, okay.
Pilots.
Well, I mean, that's not what I thought you were gonna go with. I thought you were
Blurry
gonna...
Face is kind of boring to make.
No.
people
I
listen to.
thought you were gonna go with the new album, but you
No,
said
it's
it got
not out
delayed.
yet.
Okay.
It was going to be out the May 17th, so the timing would have been that the album or the episode would be out this Saturday after the Friday that it came out.
I don't know how time works.
Yeah. But I could have made it to where it was Blurry Face Trench, Scaled and Icy. But honestly, social media soured me on them for a bit. Because like I was right after the first single came out when I was like at my highest, like I got my letter from Dima. That's a pretty exciting time for me.
We don't.
Dima is our fictional evil corporation.
Oh, cool.
This is nonsense.
They sent me a letter, which only got sent to 1,000 people, I think. So
this is not real. This you're making this up.
But
Trench.
when the first single came out, I was like, how are other people feeling about this? Because they're historically a band that don't make the same sound ever. Like each song is different.
What do you mean? Every song is not good.
Also, I think it'll be fun for the podcast because you guys don't like them.
Fun for us, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not for you.
I thought Blurry Face would be boring because.
In fairness, I don't think I've heard a single song from Trench.
Yeah, that's.
So
I haven't either.
It's so.
I'm looking at your shirt, and I'm like, I don't recognize
That's every song.
any.
Oh, but on social media, they'd released the single. I was like, oh, I want to see what people are thinking about it, just because whatever. And I was getting like reaction videos of like people sitting in bed listening to it, and then like when drums came in, they were like jumping up and down on the bed and like freaking out. I was like, this band has 2 people. One of them is a drummer. Like, of course, there's gonna be drums. Freaking out about drums in a 21 Pilots song is dumb. So I was like, I don't want to be a part of this. And now I'm back on the train, so it's all good.
Oh,
Great.
But But yeah, I picked Trench because it is probably their least successful. It's their most popular among their fan base, I think. Other than maybe
it's the 21 Pilots fans' favorite album, but not the general public.
It's a mix between this one and that one. But you guys didn't like that one at all, and I get why.
I did not like that one.
It's the most 21 Pilots is.
I liked maybe like a minute from that album.
All the things that could possibly not like would be in that album. But then Blurry Face is boring because like Stressed Out, Ride, like all the songs that everybody's
heard a billion times.
Like you've listened to Heavy Dirty Soul a lot because of the video game.
I was forced to.
There are songs on that are like better than songs on this, but I was like, I'm gonna do Trench because it's the new album and it'll be timely, so you guys can crap on 21 Pilots, and then
Hooray.
And then right after that, the album will come out. So it'll be timely. And it's also my first repeat artist. So I don't know. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I guess it is. So
I tried to do this before.
I kind of forgot we listened to 21 Pilots before.
Yeah, I also try and scrub that from my memory.
I'm hoping this one might turn you guys around a bit. There's at least got to be a song.
Would you? I mean, let's not get into it. We'll save it for the next episode. But what do you think it's better than Vessels? Or
yeah,
okay, you do.
It's my favorite. I just blatantly say it. I like.
Right.
I guess I'll get into it later.
We shall see.
This has been another round of this.
The album sharing sessions.
This is ass.
Yeah.
This was ass.
This
has been
this
ass.
was. It will be.
Dave Mustaine's
Continuing.
ass.
This will forever be ass.